Alrighty, how am I gonna do this? I'll probably break it up into, like one video just on, some universal. I'd probably do a whole video on E-Shift. I've been testing out, quite a bit with it, and, then I'll probably make one on Falk. So, Falk changes. Let's take a look. There we go. Took me a while. Alright. I briefly forgot that, yeah, you have to hold neutral while doing this, which inherently makes it worse for charge characters to do this V-shift thing. So, you can option select V-reversals like that. That's an easy move. It does anything that a parry does. Like Gil can do this with his regular V-skill parry. Is that V-skill 1 or 2 with Gil? I forget. But anyways, you can do that no problem. So what I'm doing is I'm doing 2 light punches. If he doesn't V-reversal, comes out like that. Just 2 light punches in a block string. If he does V-reversal, I option select it. Easy enough. Any character should be able to do this so long as they have like lights that they can do in a block string that don't get V-reversaled. So some characters, not even their lights are able to get a block string without them being prone to V-reversal, so that kind of sucks. But anyways, the point is that V-shift is good for anything that a parry can do, and it's throw invincible, strike invincible, projectile invincible, all this stuff. It's good at punish it. It has the follow-up has pretty good range, so it's good at punishing things that you can just react to. Anything that you can react to, it's pretty busted. It's just really good against fireballs. It's probably too good against fireballs. But yeah, let's see. It has significantly more recovery than a regular backdash. That's the other thing, and it puts you in a counter hit state. Did I not record? So as you can see, you're in a terrible crush counter state, and you're pretty minus. So one of the things that you can do is some characters can option select and punish it off of a throw. It should be a counter hit. Wait a minute, what? That doesn't make any sense. Hang on, what the fuck? Okay, I was gonna just ramble through these things, but it's now working differently. That should be a counter hit. What the shit? I was literally just doing this like an hour ago with this exact move. Doing that counter hit, because it's a counter hit state, link off of that, go into that. What the fuck is happening? Is this a glitch? That was a counter hit. What the hell? It should be a counter hit state all the way through. I mean, look at that. Well, I was literally just doing this, and it did a counter hit just fine, so I don't know what's happening here. But assuming that this is just a weird glitch that's going to go away, because this is not consistent with anything that I've tested so far. That was counter hit. What the fuck? Okay, whatever. Alright, but anyways, the point is it's a counter hit state, and some characters can, it's throw invincible, so it would parry that, parry all these, like, strike attacks, and when it parries something, it is invincible all the way through. You probably know how it works, and you can choose pretty late into the animation of the slow motion to commit to the break, the attack portion afterwards, if it parries something. But like you can see, it doesn't parry throws, but it's still more punishable than a regular backdash. It has more recovery, so some characters can do like a tick throw and just option select it with a punish. And normally that should get a counter hit state, so he can link off of that. Not all characters have this. Some characters have to spend, like, some bar, like, to do. Just a raw super as a punish. Oh. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. As for when you should use this personally on defense, anything that you can react to that gives you, like, this is something you want to lab for every specific situation you'll find yourself in against, like, different matchups. So, let's, and it's still a genuine punish. So, some moves, like a lot of characters' lights, if they're done in block strings or whatever, you won't be able to punish them with the V-break. If I just let it go normally, I'm just like +2 or something, not very significant. So most moves will probably be around this range, where some mediums and most heavies and such you can punish, and depending on the character. It's all specific situation based. So that's like one situation where you would use the move because you know what's coming. If you're like on wake up and the opponent does just like a regular throw or a light attack, like a crouching light punch and a throw, you're not gonna, like, you can escape the situation. For example, here Ken would do, like, let's say, yeah, see, I don't think Ken can punish this with anything but, like, super or something. So if he did a frame trap or something with a light, I would parry that. He would have to read this by waiting for it and trying to punish with something like his EX Tatsu or dashing forwards to read it. So yeah, I mean, any character, if you're like in a defensive situation, can probably read. The only characters that are going to have difficulty with this are like Zangief. Like, say you get hit by Zangief's super, right? And you're in the post-super animation knockdown where he's like just in range for like a light command throw or standing heavy punch. He's a meaty. You can probably V-shift that situation for free. Because even if Zangief dashes towards you, I don't think he can actually, like, punish you with much of anything. He might be in range. I don't think he's in range to SPD, and I don't think he'll be plus enough to punish with, like, a crush counter roundhouse. I could test it, but, like, that's a situation you can probably escape for free. Dive kicks, all sorts of things, like, Blanca balls, anything like that. It's probably better to do this in a situation where you know you're going to get it and it's going to reward you. Like against a fireball character, you can just do it. Parrying the action will gain you back half a V gauge, which is better than, like, even if you do it against a throw or a command throw, you'll escape the situation, but, well, not against all throws, like I showed you. Rog can tick throw you, and if you V-shift, he can still punish you. But yeah, even if you escape a throw, you're not gaining back half a V gauge, so yeah. This is not really very good in the corner, because it's a backdash. Its like primary properties as a defensive tool are that it's invincible and it moves backwards. If you're in the corner, you lose the half of it that moves backwards, so it's obviously not going to be very good. This is a mid-screen tool primarily. If you're going to, like, you're in a defensive situation, you want to get out, it's probably going to be in the mid-screen or in probably a scramble situation where they're not going to be prepared to bait it or like dash and chase it and punish it. If you're so any scramble situation that's created, you can probably use it to just escape. Other than that, you want to know exactly what you're looking to V-shift and counter. So if you're in the corner and you're using this, it's because you're looking for very specific, like, mediums or heavies or cancels into a special or, like, a fireball or something. That's where you do it. You probably didn't want to just, like, throw this out. But if you do throw it out and it's not against a throw, if they try to do a regular throw on you in the corner and you do this, they should be punishing you 100% of the time. You will not recover fast enough to defend yourself in that situation. But if you, like, parry, like, even a light attack, you have the option of going for the follow-up, which is safe on block, And even if, like, they somehow backdash it or jump out of it or something, it recovers pretty fast on whiff, too. It's honestly not bad. See? I recovered way sooner than him. So yeah, that recovers super fast, even on whiff. It's really good on hit. It's fine. Like, if it doesn't actually get a true punish, it's not the fastest thing in the world. I think it's probably possible to wait and react to the follow-up break attack with a V-shift or a parry or any tool that a character has against that on their own. Here, let me test that. Well, yeah, let me test it. Easy. Okay, so, yeah, it's pretty slow, so you can't necessarily do it as, like, a mix-up game if they're prepared for it, if they're not canceling into anything, if they have a way to counter it, because some characters won't necessarily have a way to counter it. But, yeah, if the character's able to, if you parry, like, a light, and you're not going to be in time for a true punish, and they're going to be able to block your V-break, then, if they have any V-gauge of their own, they can just V-shift you right back and punish you pretty hard. I think most characters can probably punish that pretty hard. Yeah. But, yeah, like I said, mid-screen tool, get yourself out of situations, create some space. Even in, like, tick throw situations, not a whole lot of the cast can effectively punish you, and it'll probably take them a while to learn the punishes that they do have, if they have them. Like, Ken can probably punish, like, do crouch jab throw, and if it whiffs on the V-shift, he can probably super to punish the backdash. But I don't think most Kens will be doing that for a while until they lab that kind of stuff out. You know, we're in a grace period where people won't be punishing that kind of stuff. Sakura's another character that, can do just tick throw, like, jab into throw, and if they V-shift, she can, medium punch, Shoken to punish them every time. The backdash part of the V-shift is universal. It doesn't change its distance based on the character. It doesn't, like, copy the character's backdash. Even Cody, like, I tested it, Cody usually has a really short backdash, but his V-shift goes just as far as everyone else's, so it's always going to be universal. Beyond that, let's talk about some applications of it. Some people have been, like, doing V-shift on meaty situations. I think that's pretty stupid and not a good, like, why? Why even bother? Like, they'll, like, get a knockdown in the corner, walk up on the person's wake-up, and then V-shift. Okay, it doesn't work really as a shimmy because it has more recovery than a backdash, and probably more distance than a backdash for most characters. And it doesn't create the slow-mo if you, like, go back for a throw. So it's not useful there. If they do, like, a wake-up jab or something, you'll parry it, but you won't be able to punish it because it's a fucking jab. It's a lot. What do you think? They're going to be waking up with, like, crouch, like, a medium or a heavy button? Probably not. So you're not going to be able to get an effective punish on anything, even if you do parry something. You're just wasting half a bar or a full bar if you don't actually successfully parry anything. If they wait, a lot of characters can probably just punish you for it on reaction. And the only other thing is if they do, like, a wake-up armor EX reversal or something, in which case you could have just blocked in the first place. So that's pretty dumb. I think that's, like, a pointless application of it. Now let's talk about some of the application specifics. It's a kind of a messy mechanic, honestly, because it triggers, like, really loosely. It can trigger at any point during the backdash, but it doesn't, like, reset like a parry would. Where if you parry, and the parry has, like, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, however many active frames parries have, and if it parries an attack, it's, like, a universal recovery after that point. But if you, like, if you hit someone on frame 1 of the V-shift with, like, an attack like this, versus if you hit them and, like, frame 4 of the V-shift with this attack, the recovery changes based on that frame data. So it's a different situation every single time, unless it's like a very specific frame trap sequence where the frame data is going to be the same every time. If you just like do a move, especially in a meaty situation where the timing's not going to be perfect, because obviously people aren't like robots that can perfectly time everything by the frame. If you're doing it on wake up, then anything that the opponent meaties you with, it's not going to be exactly the same situation every time. It's probably going to be pretty different each time. So let's talk about how some of those things change. First of all, some moves, if you do them, see, look, I did crouch medium punch into fireball. There was no hit stop because there's not it's not like a parry where there's parry stop or hit stop or anything. The move actually just like goes and immediately cancels. It looks really weird because the crouching medium punch barely even touches him, and all of a sudden Laura's like transitioning to a different animation without the medium punch finishing. Not all moves are like this. If I do that with heavy punch, as you can see, the cancel window is after the slow motion rather than before, like with the crouch medium punch. So some moves cancel before the slow motion comes into effect, some moves afterwards, if they're special or cancelable into whatever. So you can actually utilize that in a few ways here. For example, if the opponent were to just block, let's do this. See what I did there? Look at my inputs. I did crouching medium punch into heavy fireball, and then I overlaid it with EX fireball. So if I did that exact same input sequence against the V-shift, I didn't waste the bar. See? I didn't waste the bar because it happened so fast, faster than it would with the block stop. It took my first input rather than my second one. This is because, as I've talked about in other videos, not easy to find applications for this tech, but you can input a regular special and then override it with an EX special. It only works in that order. You can't do like an EX special and then override it with a regular special or a different EX special or a V-skill or something. It has to be regular special, and then you can change it to an EX special during the buffer period. That's the only way. If I were to do like so there, I did like EX clap, and then instantly I did like EX this, but the EX clap came out because I'm not allowed to cancel it after I've already done the input. It will only accept my first input. The only thing that you can override is a regular special into an EX special. That's the only thing that you can do. So, in this situation, you can get, and like, for example, the reason why that's useful. What is he doing? Is because if he does the backdash V-shift, I transition into the fireball, which like puts pressure on him if he doesn't go for the break. There's no reason for him not to go for the break in that situation because he can see the fireball startup and just like commit to the invincible punish to it. It's not like Laura can cancel that into anything else. Unless she's in like trigger. And even then, I don't think she'll be successful in that cancel. Yeah, no. Because she can't even get the fireball out in the first place. So yeah. But that is something that you can option select, but only with moves that cancel before the slow motion period. If you do a move like standing heavy punch, and I do regular fireball overlaid with EX fireball, it doesn't matter. It's just going to do the EX fireball, even on parry, because it's canceling after the slow motion, obviously. So, yeah. Pretty weird, no. There we go. Pretty weird tech. Probably not useful in this instance, but like it is a thing that you can do, so some characters might get some use out of that. But another thing to keep in mind is that if you do like say a crouching medium punch, depending on like how late you can cancel the moves that you're doing, you can react to the slow-mo like this, and then just cancel into a move like that. So yeah, in this situation, if I just let it go like this, his break is going to punish me. I can't escape this. So in this situation, I can create a mind game where I can cancel into this armor move and punish him like that. But it's pretty... that one doesn't work very well. Other than that, you can also, like, depending on spacing, you can do that. Now this one, yeah, if you do it, like, a little bit later, sometimes you're not able to recover in time to block, sometimes you are. But you can do that. And you're totally safe if he doesn't commit to that, and you can whiff punish it if he does. So it's usually probably better if you're expecting V-shifts to either wait for them to try to bait them out for a max damage punish, like dash after them or jump after them or something. Or if you're being wary of it, but you don't want to stop your pressure, you use lights or specific frame trap medium sequences so the V-shift break won't be able to punish. And also, if you can do mediums that you can cancel after you react to the slow-mo, or if you get a valuable option select off that thing that I described. But yeah, if you can react to after the slow-mo, and you can, like for example, Rog can do something like that. So there, in this situation, like, Rog can do, like, crouch light punch, crouch medium punch as a block string, or whatever. +3 into crouch medium punch as a block string. If they V-shift it, they can't get a punish. So they don't really have a strong reason to commit to it. But they don't inherently get rewarded from committing to the V-shift break. And if they do it, since you recovered, if you're diligent in practice, you can just react to that with your own and get a meaty punish on them. So that means that there's an inherent danger to them doing the V-shift break, which incentivizes them not to do it. And in that situation, you can actually late cancel, in this situation, +3 into crouching medium punch on the V-shift slow-mo. You can late cancel it into EX rush punch, which hits them really meaty, because they're invincible until, like, the end of that. So, because it hits them so meaty, it's like +4 or +5 on block. So you can either wait, and if they do the V-shift break, you just react to it and punish them hard. Or chase them with that, and you're super plus. So, that's like, you know, even if they're successful in parrying one of your moves, you're kind of at the advantage in terms of the mix-up, because if you guess wrong, if you commit, you lose 1 bar. If you commit and they do the break, yeah, you spent the bar, and they hit you with, like, just an attack that does Gray Life and doesn't really grant Oki. So, that's pretty good, and if they guess wrong, and they do the break, you're gonna hit them for, like, half their health. So yeah, some characters have some really good, like, offensive tools for, like, option selecting the V-shift or V-shift break, or chasing down based on reading which one it is. There we go. So there's an option select. So, Akuma. Now, if they do the V-shift into just blocking, you're going to do this on block, which is -10, but you're going to do it pretty far away. So, some characters cannot punish this very well. I would probably use that in those matchups. But this is, like, a universal thing. If they V-shift is, like, meaty crouching medium punch, he can just do that. And punish. Like so. So yeah, it's hard to get the timing down consistently, but that is an option that covers both choices that they can do if they V-shift the crouching medium punch. So here's a situation where if you do this frame trap, if you don't cancel into something, Rashid doesn't recover in time, so he gets punished by the break. But he can do that. But that's a hard read, because if they don't commit, you have to cancel into that right away to be able to get out of there in time to punish it. And if they don't commit to it, then you're doing an unsafe move. But yeah, evasion either up or like backwards is also an option to cancel things that would otherwise be punishable by the V break, to at least create like a mix up and have that move still be like, you know, not a free V-shift if they do happen to V-shift that part of like a block string or pressure or something. So here's a situation. So meaty situations like this where you can see something ahead of time, like a Colleen Hail or Ibuki's V-trigger bombs or something. V-trigger 1 or 2, or any situation where you know you're going to be blocking something. Free. And also because it doesn't have a motion input, this is good against like cross-up setups. Like, if you're worried about which side the opponent's going to be on, you know, this will take the guesswork out of it if they do a strike, or if you're, if you know you're going to... So if, like, Colleen places a hail, but she might jump over you, or do her, V-trigger 2 dash through you to hit you with a cross-up hail, you can just do this against the hail, and because it triggers the parry state, you're invincible all the way through it. You no longer has recovery. There's literally zero risk to this. Literally zero risk. It just gives you more options to work with at the cost of half a V-gauge. There is no way he can actually punish you for doing this. You're a little negative in this situation. But you have the option of going for the follow-up. It's not a great, like... The best thing about this is probably the slow motion, so that if he has committed to another action, you can see that in slow motion and act accordingly. If that's not the case, it gives you a little bit more time to think, but it fundamentally doesn't change your options that much, unless it's like not... If it's mid-screen and you're like doing that against the Rock, obviously the backdash will move you out of the way of whatever setup Cody was going for, or any other character that you're doing this to. But in this situation, if there's nothing he's doing that's inherently V-break hittable, you can't really punish him with the V-break, because, like we already established, V-break is reactable. He could just wait for you to do the V-break and then punish it with his own. Here, let's test that out. You see, he did a jab, but he wasn't committing hard enough. If he did another button, maybe, but... Okay, never mind. Alright, so if you wait for the V-break to come out, you're essentially allowing him to press buttons. Like, you can't cover both options. You can't react to him not doing it and react to him doing it. So, alright, so if you do that situation against Cody's, like, Rock setup in the corner, you are going to put yourself in a situation where you can create a mix-up against the opponent, where you can either do an invincible attack to blow through his offense, or he's forced to respect you and respect your V-break follow-up thing. Yeah. After that, it just comes down to a lot of testing on what you can and can't punish with it, and what frame traps, like what medium or any buttons you can do against it, and practicing your like anti-V reversal block strings that all characters should have access to now, using that as an option select. Charge characters are not going to have it's not great for charge characters, because one, when charge characters do the backdash thing, they don't have time to charge a back charge move, because they have to do the V-shift from a neutral state. They can't be doing it while holding back, which fucks them over. And also, if they were to buffer it in as an option select during block strings or such, maybe to blow up a V-reversal or whatever, for them to even input it in the option select, they have to do it neutral, which means they can't be holding back or down, which means that they have to give up charge during their block string. So, charge characters, this is not a great mechanic for them. Just universally, but, yeah. Just a lot of, testing specific situations and options, and other than that, just using it in mid-screen if you want, like, a fast defense, or to escape some certain situation, but, and to react to things that you know you can react to, like fireballs or knee drops or bullshit, but yeah. That's V-shift, this is V-shift break. It's alright.